Hello and welcome back to Beyond the Panels. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays. So this week I thought I would do something different. We are all eagerly awaiting the new North Huntsville branch, and I have been carefully curating a pretty awesome opening day collection for their adult graphic novels. So I thought I would share some of the brand new books that will be coming to the collection. It'll be available just as soon as that branch opens up. So the first one is the first in a new series called Swamp City Grifters, and this one's called The Grot. And it takes place in post-apocalyptic Australia, where everything is gross and awful now. And this two sons of this rich yogurt magnate go to this sprawling sort of shanty town where people go to make it rich and con others. So it is all about these two brothers here trying to establish themselves in this society of shifty people. So this is a pretty fun, quirky series, and I'm very curious to see where it goes. But for the first volume, it was pretty awesome. The art is, I don't know how to describe it. It's very indie art, but I really liked it. So this is a neat series if you're looking for something new off the beaten path. And my next one is part of the Sandman universe imprint. So Neil Gaiman's Sandman has several different little offshoot series, and this is House of Whispers, that's written by Nalo Hopkinson, who is a really awesome sci-fi horror fantasy novelist, and this is her foray into comic books. We have the first volume here at the downtown branch, but North will be getting all the volumes that are currently out. So we have 3 volumes of this series, and it's a fantasy horror take in New Orleans. It's really neat. My next one is a newer Star Wars series that's probably my favorite of the bunch. I guess it's not called Expanded Universe anymore since Disney got it, but this is a brand new character that's not in the movies. She was just written for the comics, and the comics take place right around the original trilogy of movies. And this is about an unscrupulous archaeologist who originally appeared in the Darth Vader comic, but faked her own death to get away from Darth Vader, so Darth Vader didn't actually kill her. And she has 2 homicidal droids that look like C-3PO and R2-D2, but they like to kill and torture people. And she also has her own Wookiee, who is a bodyguard for her because she owes him a lot of money, so he is just protecting his assets. But this is an awesome series. It actually won one of the GLAAD comic book awards for portrayals of gay characters in comics, so that's pretty neat. But this is the deluxe edition, so it has the first 2 volumes together in one. So if you've ever been interested in starting Star Wars, or if you're a Star Wars fan and looking to branch out, this is an awesome one to pick up. My next one is a really cool anthology. This is Marvel Comics, The World Outside Your Window. And this is a whole bunch of Marvel comics from throughout the decades that deal with real-world issues. So drug abuse, terrorism, prejudice, grief, teen suicide, HIV, school shootings, sexuality, politics, all that stuff. It's got Spider-Man stories in here. It's got the original Captain America. It's got some Howard the Duck. It has Iron Man's fight with alcoholism. It has Spider-Man reacting to September 11th. It has post 9/11 Captain America. Just some really interesting sort of like snapshots. Probably one of my favorites is there's a drug abuse story in here that Stan Lee did in the 70s that was against the censoring body of comics, the Comics Code Authority. So it was a big deal that that storyline was ran without the stamp of approval for the Comic Code. But Stan Lee thought that it was such an important issue that he wanted it out there for people to read and understand. So this is pretty awesome and deals with a lot of really timely, important, real-world topics. My next one is another anthology, but this one is all about Matt Wagner written Batman stories. And he's written some really cool stories and miniseries throughout the years. He has a very like old school, like sort of like 1940s retro vintage detective Batman with slices of horror. So this series has a Two-Face story from Legends of the Dark Knight, as well as a Riddler series that was pretty cool, and then two miniseries that he did that's very early on Batman with like Hugo Strange and the Mad Monk. The first one's called Batman and the Monster Man, and the second series was Batman and the Mad Monk. And they're both really cool, really good art, really good story. And this one was really interesting. This one is a nonfiction graphic novel. It's an autobiography about a girl in the late 70s or early 80s who was a Canadian ice skater that flew to California to audition for the Ice Capades and was approached on the beach by some college kids and got brainwashed into joining a cult. And it's all about her time in a cult and her family rescuing her and deprogramming her from the cult. I had never heard of them, but they are the Moonies. So this was really interesting and, a neat story if you like biographies and nonfiction comics. And my last one is a really cool Fantastic Four collection from the 60s that the main story in here is the very first appearance of the Black Panther. So if you're curious about where the Panther came from, he originally was a Fantastic Four character before he joined the Avengers and then got his own series over time. So this has the very first Black Panther adventure in here. It also has some really cool Silver Surfer stories, and it has one of my favorite Doctor Doom stories where Doctor Doom tricks the Silver Surfer and gains cosmic power and sort of goes about to defeat the Fantastic Four and take over the world. So this is classic Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. They are the team responsible for the foundations of the Marvel Universe. And originally, they had the longest run of any creative team on comics. They did 102 issues of Fantastic Four before their run ended. So like I said, all this is part of the opening day collection for the North Huntsville Library, so this will be available just as soon as that branch opens. So I hope you found some new, interesting things to read. Of course, as always, like, subscribe, comment, let me know if there's something you'd like me to talk about, and I hope you guys are having a great holiday season. I'll see you next time.